Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Dash. Double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Much peace and blessings to all you sons of Akim out there that's pushing this 100% truth with all sincerity, faith, and with charity. This is your brother Ash from the Great Millstone, Miami Camp, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Lord, in this video is edifying to the elect. It's going to be a quick lesson, just going into some news that I came across this morning. I wanted to do a video on it earlier, but didn't have the chance to. But I'm gonna speak on this. Right, this is Scott Ritter, which this is the video by Judge Napolitano. Right, which other news stations reported this, but this is Scott Ritter, right? His statement following FBI raid on his home. Now, if you brothers aren't familiar with Scott Ritter, you should be. He's a ex-military veteran. Well, he's a military veteran, right? That gives pretty good, pretty solid commentary and he basically a war analyst. He goes into, he speaks a lot about, recently he's been bringing out a lot of information regarding the war with Ukraine and Russia and Israel and Hamas, and basically warning the people that these different wars is set up by the elites, set up by the international bankers, and it's he's been speaking on how Russia is not the bad guy, Russia is not the enemy, and how really it's NATO and the US. He's been exposing a lot concerning these different wars going on, and he was just on Fresh and Fit too, which I find that pretty funny. I gotta finish watching that podcast, but it's like right after he did the Fresh and Fit podcast, he had the FBI knocking on his door. And when you watch this guy, I don't think he has a YouTube channel of his own, but he's on different people's channels. But before I play the video, I just want to say this guy, he's like a real red-blooded American, as many would say. He's an Edomite. I believe he's an Edomite. But you can tell he really loves America. He truly loves this so-called American dream, the freedom here, the so-called liberty, and he's a patriot, right? Which, if you're an Edomite, you should be, right? But if you're an American Edomite, you should be doing your all to come up against the NWO agenda, because your elites, your higher ups, they look at you as shit. They want to depopulate you too. Okay, and he's just speaking, from looking at the perspective of an American, and you love America. You shouldn't want World War III to happen. You shouldn't want to see, young Americans being sent off to die, being drafted to die in these wars that's totally nonsensical at the end of the day, right? And he has the FBI raiding his house, so that shows, for doing that. So it shows you, to me, which proof to me that World War III is very soon. If they're coming out and targeting people that's talking about these things, that must mean what he's talking about is getting ready to come to pass, right? But let me just play.
This report is related to concerns currently the U.S. government has about violations of the Foreign Agent Registration Act. I will tell you right now, I am not in violation of the Foreign Agent Registration Act. I have not done anything that do it, and hopefully by executing the search warrant and taking the materials that they did, they will rapidly reach that conclusion. I will say that things like this have a chilling effect on free speech. There's no doubt that I'm being targeted because of statements I've made about U.S. policy in Ukraine. I'm being targeted because I have made an effort to try and improve relations between the United States and Russia, to try to bring about arms control, to try to bring about peace. Apparently somebody in the U.S. government takes umbrage at this, so they executed a search warrant. The FBI was extraordinarily professional. I have no complaints against the personnel that did this. I do have complaints against the personnel that caused this to happen. This has a chilling impact on free speech. The idea that you have a free speech right in America, when you execute it in a manner that the U.S. government takes exception to, and they launch a search warrant, that is an intimidation factor. I can say that I am not intimidated, and I will continue to speak out, and I will continue to do what I do, because that's my responsibility as an American citizen, and I will continue to operate in that manner. So I think I gave you all the answers you need at this point in time. I would request that you respect that, and let me and my wife get on with our business.
So you see, and you can see he's mad as hell. Right? But like you said, this is a big attack on free speech. We'll show you they getting ready to do away with these so-called rights, do away with the Constitution, free speech, freedom, to have guns, right to bear arms, all that shit, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly. They getting ready to do away with all that shit. Okay. So a lot of these people that's all into the American dream and rights and liberty, they're getting ready to see that this shit was all a facade the whole time. Okay? And Tawada Yahweh Basham Yahushai, those of us that have this truth and have detached ourselves from this system, we're all for it. We're not shaken up by it. We're not scared. This shit is laughable to us. And it's all biblical prophecy. And you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that's all in this man's system, you just gonna be through. Because like I said, if you're an Edomite, I get it. You should be in Scott Ritter's spirit. But if you're a Jake, you should be in the truth. The scriptures say, envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. You shouldn't be banking on your so-called rights and freedoms in the Constitution, which says you use 3/5 of a man any damn way. Okay? But I didn't want to make this long. I'm just going to get some scriptures, man. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19. And 1, I'll just get to the point. The burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, which is modern day America. This is a place where the Israelites were in captivity, right? And that swift cloud is going to come upon in that chariot, so-called UFO, the fathership, which is going to come at the cusp of World War III. Once those missiles are shot off and these different nations is prior to the missiles being shot off, it's gonna start off with these nations fighting each other, and then the Lord is gonna appear with his holy host, the angels. They're gonna stop fighting each other and try to fight against the Lord, right? You can read 2 Ezra 13, read more about that. What's gonna happen then, right? But it says, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it, right? Because America's going to be destroyed by fire, right? And before the physical destruction takes place, it's going to be known that all the belief systems here in America was totally false. Your so-called Christianity, white Jesus, that's false. Okay, you believing in Donald Trump gonna save you, make America great again, that's false. Okay, verse 2, and this is prior to the Lord physically returning. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. So what's that talking about? Civil war, which the spirit of civil war is it's been going out like crazy, not only in America but in across the pond in the UK as well. Okay, which are Edomites as well. Edomite king, which that's the mother of America. So it all makes sense. Which the scriptures speak about in the last days is going to be sedition, right? Which and invading one another, men rising up against the government, because the government is going to be coming down with draconian measures, trying to take away rights and freedoms and depopulate people and come with their NWO agenda. So you're going to have people trying to fight back, right? And it goes on to say, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. That's a civil war. So that's what's getting ready to take place here in America. That's what we're witnessing. It's just total division. You got people that's for the NWO agenda. It's part of the government, part of these different intelligence agencies and three-letter agencies. You got other people that was part of these different three-letter agencies, part of the military, but they really believe in America and are against the NWO, going to be fighting, right? You're going to have different people that's set up by the CIA and the FBI to lead different groups and make it look like they're going against the government, but really they're going to lead people to destruction. Right? It's going to be all type of things going on. It's already going on. Plus, not even to mention the border is wide open. You got all type of people coming through the border. All type of soldiers and sleeper cells. All type of shit, man. Okay? And we're getting ready to see. We're getting ready to see what's going to come out of this. Right? You got, I've been seeing videos, certain people getting letters, supposedly getting draft letters. Or letters telling them about the draft. And it will be a draft, that's for sure. And we're going to see people protesting against that. You're going to have a lot of people, running, trying not to get drafted. People getting locked up. Right? Verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. Right? So that American dream, that American spirit is being destroyed. Okay? And I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. Okay, so they're going to try to figure it out. People are going to be, looking for answers, which America is based, the philosophy of America is based off witchcraft anyway. But it's not going to profit them nothing in the days to come. So this is a sign, them FBI raiding this man's house. That's a clear sign that they're getting ready to move on with the agenda. And anybody that's speaking up against them, speaking out, they're getting ready to roll. Let's also show you they're getting ready to roll on the men of the Lord too. And the Lord is going to lift up that standard, which we know is another step in prophecy before all hell really breaks loose. Okay, so I didn't want to make this lesson long. Just something I wanted to speak on real quick. Lord willing, was edifying. With that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakwadash, and to the next one, Shalom.